So for people listening to this, if you don't let that shy you away from commercial real estate or from buying cash flow businesses or doing any of these commercial loans, what you do to overcome this or to bypass this is you simply get a partner that has the balance sheet. Like
Yes.
that's it. So you
Yes.
have the partner that's got the assets, they've got the balance sheet. What normally means is that you're going to have to be the hustle in the deal. You're going to have to be the one that goes out, bird dogs, makes the cold calls, does the mailers, does the door knocking to be able to get the deal like Dan did here with the sign. So can you walk us through the underwriting process of the car wash? Because I know nothing about this. So when you're looking at the financials of your car wash, the P&L, can you walk us through what these expenses and income statements look like and what you were looking for that screamed this was a good deal?
Yeah. First on the income side. So we have a self-service wash. So it's 5 self-service bays, 6 vacuums, and then 1 in-bay automatic, which is like you pull your car in and then the machine moves around your car to wash it. So those are the different income streams on the income side. So it was the self-service and then the automated. One thing with the automated is we had the car count of how many cars came through a month, and then we knew what the pricing was. So there's 4 different wash packages from $6 to $10. So just by calculating how many cars come through a year, you could kind of assess like, hey, if we raise prices $2, the average price is going to go up this much. There's an extra $10,000 we can add to the income side, which doesn't really create that much more expense. It's a little bit more water, a little bit more chemicals. So we saw one opportunity there. On the expense side, we saw that they spent basically no money in advertising. So we knew we could take advantage of that, whether it be social media or local events, things like that. So we knew there was opportunity there. What was another thing? They had not a huge budget on meals and like entertainment, just going out to dinner. You could basically cut that out. So that was something that we got to decrease from the expenses, which made the NOI higher. And then they had some like one-time repair and maintenance stuff that they had done in the past few years, which we probably won't have to do for quite a long time. So their repair and maintenance cost was higher than what it really averaged out to be. So we knew that would decrease on the expenses side. So basically the pro forma we did for the first year, the business looked like it was going to make like $10,000 to $15,000 more if we had the same amount of customers. And that was when we looked at that versus the debt, we knew that the business, worst case scenario, would still probably make a little bit of money. And then,
So you had a little bit of built-in margin when you were taking it down.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What were the net cash flows looking like?
So when trying to remember, when we looked at it, my pro forma was that I was going to bring in like 125,000 a year and expenses. I don't remember the total, but it was going to bring in about, the NOI was going to be about $72,000. So that was the start. And then another thing I didn't mention is location of the wash. Another big thing is just like the town we bought it in. There's so much expansion coming. There's a massive rec center that just got built next door, like big basically a YMCA. There's an apartment complex being built down the street. There's 4 more apartment complexes and housing developments that are within a mile. So those were not other things where like the traffic count on this road is only going to go up, was another thing that we felt like we have to get. If you get 1% of the customers that drive, or 0.1% or 0.5%, that's a lot of traffic that comes through the car wash in a year.
Yeah. And so you bought it at, it looks like about almost like a 12x multiple of revenue.
Yeah.
And it's still a good deal.
Yeah.
So what determines the multiples on, because I know we just did a call on like laundromats about what determines the multiples. What determines the multiples for a car wash?
So this is something I learned after the fact and going through a refinance. When you go to the bank to get like an appraisal on the car wash, the bank is looking at the real estate value. So the land, the building, and the equipment. So how much value you have there. They aren't looking at as much on how much it does in cash or like how much it does in sales, because the bank wants to know if the business goes belly up that they can get their money back.
Got it. So you got the building and the land with the deal.
Yeah.
That's huge. Okay.
Yeah. It's not just the business. And that was something as we started going through the underwriting that we're like, I wouldn't have bought the business and not own the land just because it wouldn't have made sense at that number.
Okay, yeah, because that was the first thing that as soon as you said that, I immediately was like, this guy just bought this at an 11x, at an
No,
11x multiple, man. I was like,
no.
whoa. So no, that makes way more sense because you have the real estate with it. So what was the real estate part valued at?
When we bought it, I want to say it was like 250,000, and I think it's gone up to 450,000.
Oh, dude, that's a freaking
Just
home run.
just the land, yeah.
So you buy this car wash. How much between the time of you and your residential real estate investing journey, you and your job, between this time and like you closing on this car wash, like how much due diligence, like how much training did you do? How much research did you do on car washes? Or was this really just like a picket sign, call them, hey bro, you feel like having car wash or washed cars for the rest of our lives perpetually? And you're like,
So
absolutely, dude, let's make some money while we're doing it.
another part of the due diligence was like, and I should have said this earlier, is like one of the first things we did was me and my brother both still had full-time jobs when we were buying this. So we wanted to know that we could handle how much effort it took as a side hustle, not having to be there all the time. So the old owners were awesome. We did a call, asked them like how much time they spent on it. And then they actually met us there and gave us a tour one day, kind of showed us like what they do on a daily, what some of the things they have to do. And my brother's a professional dirt bike mechanic, so like he can fix anything. And I know more of the back admin side and the numbers. So we looked at each other and talked about it, and we're like, yeah, we can definitely handle this with what we got going on in our lives. So that was another part of the due diligence that I should have mentioned.
Dude, no, that's huge. Nobody talks about that. And
Yeah.
that's massive that you did that because you have profit, which is like revenue minus expenses, but then you have true profit, which is revenue minus expenses minus headaches.
Yeah.
So you did the huge part where you were like, okay, let me see how this bakes into the lifestyle that I actually want to lead. People,
Yes.
listen to what Dan just said there and take note of that because we are trying to build lives of freedom. We don't want to buy another freaking job. We don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So you buy this car wash. Can you walk us through maybe in 30 seconds to like a minute and a half? Walk us through this journey of just if somebody's looking to buy a small business through the process of getting the loan, of like from contacting the broker. Can you walk us through step by step what that looked like, just so somebody has an understanding of what they're about to get into as they go through this process?
Yeah. So this to start is have your personal finances in order, know what a
Yes, yeah.
financial statement is so that you can put it together. And then from there, you can reach out to an SBA lender or like your local bank that does conventional loans and talk to them and see. They can probably give you like what they think they could loan up to on your own personal financial statement, or if you have a couple partners, and then you can see what you could possibly get for a loan or what you could qualify for. And then you can start looking at businesses, obviously look at businesses and look at the time that's going to be associated with them.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet, man. And
Yeah. But I was just
yeah,
gonna say, like any of your local lenders, small community banks, a lot of them do conventional loans. Some of them specialize in SBA loans. Some of them like we had to find a few banks to refinance because some banks don't deal with car wash because it's a specialty business. But other banks, like when we did storage, the lender we used has a division just for self-storage.
got it. Okay. No, that makes a lot of sense. So you've got this new commercial loan, you've got the property, you've got the car wash up and running. And you said that you had a lot more fun figuring out how to add value through NOI for valuation and your commercial loans. Talk to people about how that works in your commercial loans and commercial valuations.
Yeah, a lot of commercial businesses like multifamily stores, they're all valued on a cap rate. So that's basically your NOI divided by the cap rate gives you the purchase price, or I forget the equation the other way around. But so basically, what we bought our car wash at was a 8.75 cap rate. After a year of running it and just looking at what our NOI got boosted up to, dividing it by that same cap rate, you saw that the value of the property went up. So it's like, sweet. These couple little things I did, couple improvements, which is just, hey, I answer the phone and give somebody a refund if they had a bad experience or there's an issue and I fix it to get that customer to come back. Those are little things that just kept the place busy, increasing sales, which is increasing the NOI. So our value just went up. So it was like in a year, we created a couple $100,000 just by running the business properly and fixing things and making small improvements.